What is up, guys, and welcome back. So obviously it's morning. I just woke up. I look like a freaking porcupine. I clearly need a haircut. But as you guys saw in the short, if you missed it, definitely go like, subscribe, and hit that notification button so you guys don't miss anything. We did end up moving my brother's 190 as well as the Pandem from where it used to be, tucked back here behind all the just sadness is what we call this. We basically call this the graveyard. But today what we're going to be doing is grabbing our bi-turbo V12 because we need to test fit it and make sure it does actually fit inside of our Pandem. So let's go ahead and grab that guy from the graveyard really quick so we can bring it up forward and cross our fingers and just hope it kind of fits. So let's go. Well, guys, I tried to record that. Unfortunately, it looks like my camera turned off or I didn't hit record. We did pull this thing all the way over here. The way I do this, because obviously we live in the middle of the desert and there's a lot of dirt, is I lift it with this. I put the engine and transmission on our trusty little wagon here, and then obviously we just push the wagon all the way over, and then I bring the lift back over, lift it off the wagon, and then I drop it back on the floor just to make my life as easy as possible. But there is a lot of stuff on this motor still, as you guys can see. Obviously, we don't need the alternator. We don't really need the smog pump. The power steering pump is already off because we gave it to the guys at Auto Afflicted. But yeah, we have to take a lot of stuff off this engine. So let's go ahead and get to work on doing that. Get this thing kind of cleaned up. Obviously take off this cat. There's just a lot. There's still a lot we got to take off. So let's go ahead and take off all the stuff on this so we can get it ready to put in this. All right, guys. So I know it doesn't look like I've really done anything to this, but I mean, look how many bolts I've already taken out. It's been all of these bolts. I just took off this heat shield right here. There's 3 bolts that hold it on. It sits kind of like this right here. You have a bolt right here. You have a bell housing bolt right there that's also for the starter. And then you do have another bolt that's right there in that hole. And then I took off all these dang lines right here. That's where most of these bolts just came from, as well as just about all of the bolts for our alternator. Took off the smog pump, or whatever the heck you want to call this doohickey right here. There's 3 bolts for it. 1, 2, 3, and they go right there, there, and there. But yeah, I've already been working on this side for about 20 minutes, and I feel like I got absolutely nothing done. But I figured I'd go ahead and show you guys exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and take off this last guy right here really quick. Take off all this front stuff. Obviously, clean up this huge mess, and then we'll go ahead and work on the other side. And then I'll start getting in the back and tearing into some of this stuff because there's just capped off vacuum line. There's just a lot of crap on this motor. But yeah, so let's go ahead and, I guess, continue to take stuff off, and I'll show you guys what I do throughout the process. Well, fun fact, looks like that right there is just a drain for the alternator. I actually did not know that. Learn something new every day. So I guess let's go ahead and move to the front of the motor, see if there's any more bolts holding this sucker on, and go from there. Look at the front of this engine, guys. Look how much stuff is just going on up here. I feel like there's too much, in my opinion. There's just too much stuff going on up here compared to my favorite M103. This stuff is a little wild, I'm not even gonna lie. But let's start tearing it apart and getting into it. All right, guys, so it looks like to take off this bracket, all you have to do is take off this one bolt here and this bolt right in here. And then the whole thing is loose. Obviously, we still have a few lines we have to loosen up and take off, but yeah, just for future reference. All right, guys, so check it out. I officially have the oil cooler disconnected, apart, AC condenser, compressor, my goodness, off, cleaned. All the lines are pretty much taken off this side. I did take off this one bolt right here that I'm actually gonna have to put back on because I didn't realize that was just a bar for the turbo. But this right here is pretty much what it's gonna look like, guys. Now I gotta clean up my huge mess that I made because all these hoses obviously I'm not going to be keeping. I'll be turning these right here into a 10AN, and I'm probably going to add a separate oil cooler instead of having the line go all the way like this, and then obviously have the shorter one. I don't understand why they did that. Me personally, I would probably just put one cooler right here on the side instead of it having extra line. I don't know why they did that, but yeah, that's besides the point. I still have to take off this dang alternator, and then the secondary air injection system, or like the smog pump or whatever. I'm going to take that off. I'm actually probably going to build a delete plates and cap that off entirely, because I mean, it is just for emissions, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, somebody let me know. Somebody let me know down in the comments. But yeah, as of now, I'm actually kind of happy with it. I think I'm going to pressure wash it, clean the heck out of this thing. And then what I'll do is get ready to put it inside the Pandem. So stay tuned. Give me just a few minutes. All right, guys, so check it out. We officially have everything clean. We have our engine wiped down. I didn't pressure wash it just yet, because obviously there is still a few things I need to take off and cap and do all that, but the anticipation is honestly killing me. I have to put this inside of the car. I'm so curious to see how well it fits, if it even fits. So let's go and pop our hood and cross our fingers, guys. Let's see if this thing actually fits. As you guys can see, I pretty much already have everything removed from the car that's supposed to be removed. So yeah, put that hood up. All right, guys, here's the moment of truth, okay? Cross your fingers. Before I even do this, drop down in the comments right now, do you think it's gonna fit? Yes or no? Go ahead, drop them down, drop them down. Alright, guys, so as you can see, our hood does not close all the way, but realistically, there is some room in here on both sides. This side is a little closer. The motor does have to go towards the passenger side just a little bit. And for everybody asking, oh, you're never going to get a exhaust to fit. Our turbos aren't going to be sitting right there. We are actually relocating them. So yeah, they're not going to be staying down there in that exact position. But as you guys can see, the motor does sort of fit. Kinda. Almost. Still have a lot of finagling to do and work to do, but for the most part, I mean, there's a bunch of room. I just gotta mess with it, I think, just a little bit more finessing, remove a few more things. Obviously, like I said, the turbos are not going to be staying like that. Thank goodness I have a brother that's an amazing welder who's made manifolds for me in the past. He'll probably have to hook it up and help me with some manifolds on this thing, but for the most part, I am actually kind of happy with it. The intercoolers, I don't think are going to be able to stay like this as well, unfortunately, but I mean, yeah. What do you guys think? On a scale of 1 to 10, actually doesn't look too bad if you ask me. I am going to maybe have to either get a custom sway bar made. As you guys can see, my pan is sitting on the sway bar at the moment. Or I might be able to move that pan back, because I don't know if you guys can see or tell, but it's almost in that pocket, and I definitely can't go back anymore with this stuff. So yeah, that might be what I have to do. Or I could cut that little shock tower piece like this one, so that way it does go on the inside instead of the outside like this one does. I mean, that could possibly help, but I don't think it's going to help much. All right, guys, so check it out. I did end up cutting that piece. There's the cut right there. I could still go back about, I want to say 2-3 inches. There is still some stuff on the motor that I need to take off, but honestly, it's not too bad. I was kind of just test fitting everything because obviously I'm trying to get some pictures for you guys as well. I still have way more than enough room to put a radiator in the car, which is freaking awesome. The turbos, like I was saying, they're not going to be staying here. And I have a bunch of room on both sides. So, yeah, we're going to be doing quite a bit of stuff. And I also removed this guy right here. But, I mean, yeah, there is way more than enough room back here. And I can even keep the stock blower motor, believe it or not. So, with all of that, I'm very happy with it. I think it 100% fits. The hood does close all the way, but since I just put on all these plastics, it does stick up a little bit still. The second I take off the plastics, it does close 100%. So I do need to obviously figure that out a little bit. My hood mat got to go. Obviously, it's just shredded, as you guys can see and tell. But honestly, there you go. My radiator's going to fit. The motor actually fits pretty dang well. And believe it or not, the motor mount mounts, the motor mount mounts, they are so close, it's not even funny, to being exactly where they're supposed to be. I am going to have my brother actually make me 2 new motor mounts on both sides, just so that way they look very nice and shiny and billet. And obviously I'm going to be officially pressure washing this and making it look perfect and beautiful. Yeah, another reason this thing wouldn't close is obviously because I have this big old chain on it still. I'm going to pull the motor out one more time. But yeah, guys, I am ridiculously happy with it. I think this is going to fit wonderfully. As you guys can see, I am far, far, far away from the frame. I am barely even touching. I'm actually not touching the sway bar now. Obviously, the transmission is sagging a little bit. That's why it's up like that. But yeah, guys, I am so friggin' excited. I am so happy that this fits the way I wanted to. But yeah, what do you guys think? Give me a thumbs up if you think it's great, or thumbs down if you think this is a dumb idea. I think it's the best idea I've ever had in my entire life. But yeah, guys, and look how perfectly level it sits. I mean, this motor, believe it or not, is actually not that much heavier than the M103. The M103 is obviously cast iron block. It is a heavy sucker. It is obviously 6 less cylinders, but this is an aluminum block, aluminum heads. It weighs, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was only like 50 or 60 pounds heavier than the M103. And considering the fact we're not going to be having like the tandem pump and then the cooled alternator and stuff, I think that might help a lot. Because just this, I'm not kidding you, just this alternator by itself, it probably weighs about 30 pounds by itself. So, I mean, just dropping that right there, it actually might be heavier than 30 pounds, but just dropping that right there in the tandem pump is going to be a significant drop. So, yeah, we're probably going to be close to the stock weight. And obviously, like I said, the turbo manifolds were going to be changing. Oh, man, I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned, because obviously we have a lot of stuff we're going to be doing to this. My brother is going to be the one doing a lot of like the little fabrication, all that stuff. So I won't really be recording that because it is welding and measuring and a lot of back and forth, just very repetitive stuff. So while he's doing all that and kind of messing with getting this thing fitted, I guess you could say, what we're going to be playing with and doing on the next build series is actually our wagon. I have had a million comments of people saying, please get started on the wagon, please get started on the wagon. So here you go. This is what we're going to be doing. While my brother's messing with that thing over there, screwing with that, obviously getting it all buttoned up, we're going to be messing with this. So yeah, guys, stay tuned. We have to put the body kit on, fit it all, make sure everything fits properly. We have to fix a few rust panels and rust pieces on the car we're going to be cutting off and redoing. We need to put our door cards back on because we did end up switching our doors as well as our hood, as you guys can tell. But yeah, there it is, guys. This is going to be the next project. like I said, when we got back, we're going to be getting stuff done. My phone has now said it's going to overheat and probably stop recording. So I am done. It was really nice fitting that motor in there. Fingers crossed that everything keeps going as planned, and we'll see you guys in the next one.